At 12:30 in the morning on August 5, 2026, the first explosion hit Kyiv. Then the second, then the third, then they stopped counting. Over the next 2 hours, Russia launched 24 Iskander-M ballistic missiles, 4 hypersonic Zircon and Onyx cruise missiles, and 115 jet-powered drones at the Ukrainian capital and its surrounding region. It was one of the deadliest barrages Kyiv had experienced all year, and for a city that has been under missile attack every 3 to 4 days this entire summer, that is saying something. By morning, 17 people were dead, 44 were wounded. A 20-story residential building was on fire. Warehouses the size of aircraft hangars had been reduced to twisted metal and ash, and Ukraine's Air Force had to make a public admission that cut deeper than any explosion. Of the 28 missiles Russia fired, all 24 Iskander-M ballistic missiles and all 4 Zircons, not a single one was intercepted. 0. Ukraine's air defenses managed to shoot down or electronically disable 98 of the 115 drones. That's an 85% interception rate on the slow-moving targets. But against the ballistic missiles, the ones that travel at Mach 5 or faster, the ones that kill in volume, Ukraine had nothing left to fire back with. And the reason is a story that begins not in Kyiv, but 3,000 kilometers away in the Persian Gulf. The US-made Patriot system is the only air defense weapon in Ukraine's arsenal capable of intercepting ballistic missiles. There is no substitute. Iris-T can't do it. NASAMS can't do it. Europe's SAMP-T, the Franco-Italian system sometimes called the European Patriot, can engage some ballistic threats, but has never been delivered to Ukraine in numbers that matter. And THAAD, the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System that the U.S. deploys to protect its own forces and allies, has never been offered to Kyiv at all. Only Patriot's PAC-2 and PAC-3 MSE interceptors, the PAC-3 MSE being the most capable variant, built by Lockheed Martin and Raytheon Missiles and Defense, can track a warhead traveling at 5 times the speed of sound and destroy it before it reaches the ground. Before Donald Trump launched the war against Iran on February 28th, the United States had more than 2,300 Patriot interceptor missiles in its global inventory. 5 months later, that number has fallen to roughly 800, according to figures reported by NPR, burned through at a staggering rate defending Israel, American forces in the Gulf, and allied bases across the Middle East. Domestic Patriot production, managed by RTX Corporation, formerly Raytheon, runs at approximately 600 missiles per year. Iran's remaining missile and drone arsenal is estimated to be far larger than what the current production rate can counter. The math is brutal. Every PAC-3 MSE interceptor fired at an Iskander-class ballistic missile in the Persian Gulf is an interceptor that doesn't exist for Kyiv. Zelensky has been saying this for months. After visiting the White House in late July, he publicly requested 300 additional Patriot interceptors to get Ukraine through the winter. Trump declined. Worse, he walked back an earlier commitment, made at the NATO summit just weeks before, to grant Ukraine a license to manufacture Patriot missiles domestically. The promise that was supposed to permanently close the interceptor gap evaporated before the ink was dry. And so August 5th happened. The missiles struck 26 locations across Kyiv and its surrounding region. Debris fell on another 6. The targets were not military bases. They were not command centers. They were the economic infrastructure of a functioning society. Epicentr, Ukraine's largest home improvement and construction retail chain, essentially their Walmart, was hit directly. 2 of its major logistics hubs and a factory were destroyed in minutes. 1 employee was killed. 3 more were wounded. The company released a statement on Facebook that carried the weight of exhaustion. In minutes, Russian missiles destroyed what the company had built over decades. Russia's defense ministry responded by claiming the Epicentr site handled order processing, sorting, and delivery of dual-use goods and drone components. a justification Kyiv flatly rejected. Nova Post, Ukraine's largest private postal and logistics carrier, the company that delivers packages to millions of Ukrainians every day, had its postal distribution center struck. Reuters published a photograph of a police officer and a civilian standing in front of the shattered facility, surrounded by rubble. Warehouses in Brovary, a satellite city just northeast of Kyiv, were hit. Another warehouse in Bucha caught fire. A brewery was destroyed. A building materials warehouse was leveled. A railway station was damaged. Zelensky listed the targets in a Telegram post with the clinical precision of a man who has done this hundreds of times. The targets included entities unrelated to the war, a brewery, warehouses for building materials, and civilian logistics facilities. Russia, naturally, framed it differently. The Defense Ministry said it struck 7 logistics centers that were being used to store or distribute military-related goods. This is the same justification Moscow has used for nearly every strike on Ukrainian civilian infrastructure since 2022, the assertion that any warehouse, any factory, any logistics center could theoretically be handling dual-use materials. It is a framing that allows the destruction of an entire civilian economy under the umbrella of military necessity. One of the people caught in the barrage was a Kyiv resident identified only as Braga, who spoke to the Associated Press from the wreckage of his neighborhood. "We didn't even have time to grab our documents or anything else," he said. "I couldn't believe it. I'd already been in Kyiv and had heard explosions before, but nothing like today." Serhiy Beskresnov, an advisor to Zelensky on defense technology, said the war of attrition had entered a new phase. The enemy is attacking everything indiscriminately: retail warehouses, food storage facilities, logistics hubs, enterprises, building materials warehouses, he wrote on Facebook. The pattern he's describing isn't random destruction. It's systematic economic degradation. The same strategy, ironically, that Ukraine is applying to Russia through its drone campaign on refineries and Wildberries warehouses. And that parallel is not lost on anyone. CNN noted that Moscow's attack overnight into Wednesday seemed to offer a riposte to the Wildberries onslaught, targeting Ukrainian warehouse and logistics facilities in direct retaliation for Ukraine's systematic destruction of Russian e-commerce infrastructure. Wildberries, Russia's largest online retailer with an estimated 100 million registered users, has become a strategic target precisely because its warehouse network doubles as a distribution backbone for Russian consumer supply chains. The same night Russia was bombing Ukrainian logistics centers, Ukrainian drones hit a 14th Wildberries warehouse, this one in the Tula region south of Moscow. The symmetry is almost surgical. Two nations methodically dismantling each other's commercial circulatory systems, one strike at a time. This is what the war looks like now. Not tank battles on the steppe, not trench warfare in the Donbass. Two countries systematically destroying each other's economic infrastructure, warehouses, refineries, logistics networks, postal systems, while the civilians who depend on those systems die in the crossfire. Thursday was declared an official day of mourning for the 17 dead. Timur Tkachenko, head of Kyiv's regional military administration, made the announcement. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko confirmed the fire in the 20-story residential building, adding that the cause was likely a direct missile strike. But the mourning happens against a backdrop of strategic desperation. Zelensky's post-attack message wasn't primarily about grief. It was about interceptors, ballistic missile interceptors. These are what could have saved the lives of those who died today, he wrote. It is crucial that our partners understand that delays in their supply or a reluctance to provide anti-ballistic systems leads to precisely these horrific casualties and destruction. He added a detail that quantifies the crisis. Air defense missile deliveries to Ukraine in 2026 are 3 times smaller than they were in 2025. Not the same, not slightly reduced, 3 times smaller. At the exact moment Russia is escalating its Iskander-M ballistic missile campaign, firing more of them, more frequently, at more targets. Ukraine's ability to shoot them down is collapsing. And then Zelensky added a line that carried a different kind of edge. Partners who are not ready to help more actively with the supply of interceptors right now can help by imposing new sanctions. That's a message aimed directly at Washington. If you won't give us the missiles to protect our people, then at least strangle the economy that's building the missiles that are killing them. The Patriot shortage isn't a logistics problem, it's a strategic trilemma. The United States is simultaneously fighting a war against Iran, supporting Israel's defense, and attempting to maintain Ukraine's air defense umbrella, all with a single interceptor production line managed by RTX Corporation and Lockheed Martin that cannot keep pace with demand from any one of those theaters, let alone all three. THAAD batteries are similarly stretched. SAMP-T deployments in Europe are too few. There is no backup system waiting in a warehouse somewhere. Something has to give. And right now, what's giving is Ukrainian lives. The strikes on August 5th were not unique. They were not even unusual. They were, as NPR described them, the latest in a series of large-scale Russian ballistic missile strikes that have become near routine this summer. Every 3 to 4 days, another barrage, another set of explosions in the night, another count of the dead, another Zelensky statement pleading for interceptors that aren't coming. Russia knows this. Moscow has watched the Patriot inventory drain in real time and calculated, correctly, that the window of Ukrainian vulnerability is widening. Every week that passes without interceptor resupply, Russia can hit harder with less risk of its most expensive missiles being shot down. The Iskander-M ballistic campaign is accelerating precisely because the PAC-3 MSE defense against it is crumbling. This is the cost of fighting two wars with one arsenal. There is a deeper cruelty embedded in the targeting pattern of August 5th that deserves attention. The sites Russia hit, Epicentr, Nova Post, the brewery, the building materials warehouses, are not random. They are the sinews of Ukrainian civilian life. The hardware store where a family buys materials to repair a shelled apartment. The postal service that delivers medicine to a grandmother in a village. The brewery that employs 200 people in a city that's already lost half its workforce to the war. When you destroy these, you don't just kill the people inside. You degrade the social fabric that allows a country to keep functioning while it fights. You make daily life harder, more expensive, more dangerous, more exhausting. You tell a population that has endured 4.5 years of war that even the act of rebuilding is futile, because what you build today will be rubble tomorrow. That is the strategic logic behind hitting civilian logistics infrastructure. Not military targets in the traditional sense, not command centers or radar stations. The stores, the delivery trucks, the post offices, the things that make a society run. And when the defending country cannot intercept the missiles carrying this destruction, when 0 out of 28 Iskander-M missiles are stopped, the message lands with devastating clarity. We can hit you anywhere, anytime, and you cannot stop us. Zelensky understands this. The Ukrainian people understand this. The question is whether Washington understands it, or whether the interceptors will keep flowing east to the Persian Gulf while Kyiv burns every 3 to 4 days. 17 people died on August 5, 2026, in the capital of a country that has been at war for 1,623 days. Their names will be read on Thursday during the official day of mourning. Some were warehouse workers, some were night shift employees. Some were residents of a 20-story apartment building who were asleep when the missile hit. They died because 28 missiles flew toward their city and not one was stopped. They died because the PAC-3 MSE interceptors that could have saved them are being fired at Iranian ballistic missiles 3,000 kilometers away. They died because the production line that RTX Corporation and Lockheed Martin run together makes roughly 600 Patriot interceptors per year, and the world is consuming them at 3 times that rate. And they died because, for all the talk of licenses and sanctions and diplomatic formulas, the gap between promise and delivery is measured in human lives. Zelensky said it plainly. Ballistic missile interceptors, these are what could have saved the lives of those who died today. 17 people, 44 wounded, 26 locations struck, 0 Iskander-M missiles intercepted. That's August 5th, 2026 in Kyiv. If this story matters to you, if you believe the world should see what's happening here, hit subscribe, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments. What should the West do when the interceptors run out? We'll keep covering this. Every strike, every number, every name we can find.